at the moment is still the behaviours. It's actually locking down a deadline to be fully operating in X3 for MRP, for example. Which is nothing system related, it's pure behaviour related. What we are doing within the ERP is excellent. Every time we come across something that doesn't look quite right, it has a predictable reason, whether it be safety stock setting or something like that. Our challenge now is now that we've got the system enabled to have executable outcomes out of the MRP process, is the behaviours and the trust to use it. We're probably fairly advanced in releasing multiple purchase orders for new purchases. The biggest trust challenge for us at the moment is trusting the suggested delays. It is fair to say we weren't, as a collective group, we weren't as experienced and didn't understand X3 as much as we should. We've certainly increased that process, and it's had a marked improvement in terms of how we look at the data and how we act on the system. So in that purchasing space, we certainly have a much better understanding. And as you know, David, we slayed a couple of sacred cows that had been around the business for a couple of years and were nothing more than understanding the systems and understanding the settings in the system. So, that's been transformative in many ways. Understanding the system will actually do what we want if we feed it the right information, now that we understand how the system works. So that's been a huge step forward for us. Yeah, so I think we certainly have had a report. I think through this project, a lot of the assumptions in that big report held true. Some of the assumptions did not, and the answer was really at a more tactical level for a lot of the improvements. Strategically, we're doing the right things with the ERP. Tactically, we were doing the wrong things with the ERP. Spending the time up front to understand exactly what we do and how we do it, and at the transactional level. So for instance, how do we generate a suggested purchase via MRP? How do we release that? As an example of that tactical level processing, understand exactly how that works, coupled with understanding what we're trying to achieve. And then, I think it's the next step, which is not just doing that work on behalf of a business, it's the coaching and the support to the business to achieve it itself is what the difference is for me. It's not, you're not come in, do the assessment, write a report, here's what you need to do. You're on your own. It's here's the opportunities, and then support the business to achieve those opportunities, and in the process learn and grow, which is a big difference. It was one of my goals at the start of this is our capable. Two things are our knowledge base around supply chain, and then our capability in our specific ERP, and we've definitely built both of those through this project. I think we're aligned as a factory and as a business on what we're trying to achieve and how the ERP supports the business. I think we have a much higher level of capability in terms of managing the inputs and the data to our ERP and executing in line with the ERP than we had previously. I think we have a much better working relationship, with our ERP provider, and that's reaping rewards in our ability to actually identify issues, identify root causes, and implement improvements. And I think, as I alluded to earlier, we've slayed a couple of those sacred cows that I think were really holding us back. And they were those, assumptions that the system could not do things. Therefore, we were using workarounds. I think there's been an attitude shift in that, I don't hear the system can't do it. It's we just need to figure out how it does it. David, very much for challenging the status quo and asking the right questions. And that's the right questions of us, the right questions of a process, and right questions of our ERP partner. And not accepting the answer that it can't be done. It's will show me, and then pulling on that thread that allows us to unravel the problem. That's the difference, and it's different to a more traditional consulting. Here's a report. We can have a 1-hour meeting to discuss the findings and then go away. This was very much ask the questions, follow up, challenge, without suggesting the answers. This was very much, we have to make change, and at the same time as making change, we have to learn and grow as a team. And I think we've been extremely successful of that. Some of those behaviours, like our daily OBEA meetings, they're still going. But I was on that just before this. We have still a full dance card of things we're working on, and we're adding to those. So that in itself is a fundamental shift. We've gone from status quo to continual improvement of our ERP and processes. Working with David is not at all like working with a normal consultant. It's a many ways a partnership to ask the right questions and unravel the problems, and then enable the solutions.